So it's July, I don't know, someday between the 1st and the 30th. I'm in my car, windows down, sunroof open, blasting What a Fool Believes. You know it by the Doobie Brothers. McDonald's voice is air spraying the air. I'm feeling it. I'm really, really feeling it. What a fool believes. Well, at least we know I didn't make the band. When did I become the Yacht Rock guy? The Yacht Rock guy. Have I always been the Yacht Rock guy? I'm so confused. I don't even wear tops. I'm in this crazy space, y'all. I'm old, but not that old. I grew up in the hip hop era. Run-DMC, Public Enemy, the Beastie Boys, fierce battles between LL Cool J and Curtis Blow. We had Tribe Called Quest, we had Eric B. and Rakim. This was a soundtrack of my youth. I run a small business. I'm in great shape. I've got energy, ambition, and vision. But I also voluntarily listen to Yacht Rock. My shoe game went from Jordans to Hokas, and the idea of being in the club past midnight sounds like absolute hell. What's up, crew? Welcome to Man Listen. This is Jamie. Today we're talking about this bizarre space many of us are living in. Old enough that everything has changed, yet not old enough to be counted out. Still, you don't fit into the youth-obsessed culture and not ready for retirement homes. At least I'm speaking for myself. We're invisible to some people and surprisingly very visible to others. This episode is about owning that space, laughing at the absurdity of all, and recognizing that being old yet not old might actually be the best stage of life you'll ever experience. So if you're ready, because I'm ready, let's dive in. Let's talk about the music. It was raw, unrefined, it was fun, we had a great time, it was revolutionary. It came from the streets, speaking to the streets. Nobody could tell us anything. We loved it. It spoke for us at times. So check it. We had boom boxes. Some wore Kango hats and the Adidas tracksuits. Why? Because Run-DMC told us to. We memorized every lyric. We debated who was better, East Coast or West Coast. Man, we lived that. I was sitting in the lobby at my orthodontist office waiting to get those wires tightened so my teeth hurt for a couple days. I had no idea really who Michael McDonald or the Brothers were. This was, in my mind, office music, elevator music. This was what was played when you're sitting, waiting to get tortured. It was definitely not on the cool radar. Fast forward, I'm sitting in my car at the red light, Sailing by Christopher Cross comes on. I'm not changing it. I'm not changing it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to turn it up a little bit. Pretty much anything by Hall and Oates and Minute by Loggins. Those are my jams. I'm not afraid to say it. Pretty sure I didn't know the words, but I tried my best to sing along, and I know for certain me and Al Jarreau did a couple duets while I was doing my thing. And thinking back to my childhood, my teenage years even, how did we not see this? The production, the musicianship, the vocals. Peaches and Herb, even Billy Ocean. These artists made incredible art, not just music. It was art. Did you catch the Doobie Brothers' Tiny Desk? I'm out there telling my friends like this was the newest hype. And for me, it was. It was incredible to watch them also mature, yet maintain the integrity of the music. I come to realize Yacht Rock, it's not corny. It's sophisticated and it's smooth, and I'm a fan. And for real though, if you love it like I love it, I'll figure out a way how to link that episode of Tiny Desk into the podcast somewhere because it's a must. You know what I don't want to hear? This new mumble rap. With all due respect, no and thank you. I feel the same about metal rock though, so whatever. I don't need bass rattling my chest cavity. I don't need to feel assaulted by the music. I want quality. I want Chris. I want Yacht Rock. Now I have to ask, does that make me old? Whoop-de-doo. Maybe it means my tastes have matured. I no longer care about what's cool to 22-year-olds at all. So it's a bit of realization for myself that my musical tastes have evolved. And that for me is an early sign that I am in the old yet not old zone. You still love the music of your youth. Like I'm never not gonna love Can I Kick It by the Tribe Called Quest. But I'm also appreciating a whole genre of music I had previously dismissed. That's growth. That's having the confidence to like exactly what you like. And since we're speaking of things from our youth that have evolved, let's talk about the shoe game. Let me take you back. Growing up, your shoes were everything. They're probably everything to kids now, but I'm talking about the OG sneaker Chuck Taylor. Had the crisp white ones with that were tied all the way up, and over time we got the colored laces with them, but they were simple and classic. We wore those bad boys till they almost fell off your feet. And not soon after that, Adidas came through with the classic Top Tens. You got any idea who those shoes were made for? Well, they weren't made for Kareem, but they were made famous by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. High tops, leather. If you had these, you were going places. By then, it's the mid 80s. And guess who showed up? Michael Jordan, the hottest, the most sought after shoe ever. I'm gonna have to call my mom and see if those 86 Jordans are still at the house. So let's get right down to it. Air Jordans were not just shoes. They were a cultural movement. They were status. They were and still are part of many people's identities. You saved up, you stood in line, you protected those shoes like they were made of gold. We wore Jordans to look fly, to ball in, to feel like we had arrived. After years and years of balling hard, after running track, I'm wearing Hokas, New Balance, Asics, Cole Haams when I have to wear my adult pants. Just snagged a pair of Topo Trail Runners. Ever heard of those? Me either until now. But don't even matter cuz my feet feel safe and secure. Now I need somebody to get the good people at Topo on the phone. I'm talking sponsorship. Why the hype? My feet have definitely changed. When I see guys out in 80 sneakers, there's a little bit of envy, but I'm also aware that they are faking the funk to look cool or suffering for the soul. That's crazy. But me, I can't do it. No arch support, zero cushioning, sacrificing comfort for style. I'm just not doing it. My feet, my knees, my back, they've all sent me a memo that says, we're not doing it. Get us better product. Now I'm rocking shoes that look like orthopedic marshmallows. And you know what? I don't even care. They're comfortable. I can walk all day. I can train clients. I can move without pain. That's an important piece right there. Are they as cool as a pair of Iversons? Objectively, no. But living life without limping or pain? Absolutely, yes. It's a win for me. So here we are, kind of old, yet not old. We come to the realization that function beats form. Yes, I still want to look good in my shoes. I'm not out here in full on geriatric footwear. Just know that comfort becomes a non negotiable. Your body has an opinion now. If you're smart, you are listening to them. So I'm holding my cell phone in my hand, looking at it in amazement because I remember my first calculator. I thought this was some kind of genius material. Add, subtract, multiply, divide instantly. No pencils, no pens, no work. Just punch in the numbers, bam, boom, the answer. Revolutionary. Scotty, go ahead, beam me up. I also remember when getting a computer in your house was a big deal. It's like we had to set up an entire room for the computer. And the monitor, oh my God, that thing was heavy, even though it was only the size of like a 10-inch TV. Do you remember dial up? Dial up sound like a robot about to die. Fast forward. Now I'm talking to artificial intelligence that can write essays, analyze data, create art, probably shoot a movie, hold a conversation, basically do in seconds what we used to do as humans in hours, weeks, months, years, living in the future. It's still mind blowing to me that I can ask my phone a question and get an answer immediately. I can video call, that means see a picture of somebody around the world free. I can access the entire sum of human knowledge from the device that I keep in my pocket. That's wild. But even wilder to me, I can remember when none of this existed. Well, there was Joshua. You remember war games? I remember when you had to go to the library to do research. I remember when you actually had to know somebody's phone number to get in contact with them. Now you just push a little button on your phone and boom, 2 seconds later, what's up, bro? When you had to print out directions, you remember that AAA store and get all this loose information, you kind of got balled up and you hope it didn't get wet. It was a mess. Anybody remember getting directions? The young people of today, they can't even fathom that world. They were born with the internet, with smartphones, with AI as a normal part of their lives. Me, I lived through that transition. I had to learn all of this as an adult. Today, you will find adults that are willfully ignorant, that are afraid of the technology. Actually, it's an advantage to have learned things as we adapted as adults. It puts us in that old yet not old category I've been talking about. Long live Generation X. We're not digital natives. We're not all technologically illiterate either. We learn, we adapt, we figured it out. We know today technology, AI, the internet is a way of life and it is not going away. It's kind of like when we were left home alone and had to figure out how to open a ravioli can, turn on the stove while not cutting off a finger or burn down a house. Oh man, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to unearth some of those childhood traumas like that. Wow, fun times. Can I use technologies to run my business, market my service, and launch this podcast? Absolutely. You see me, you see me. We're in this unique position where we remember life before the internet. We're still young enough and sharp enough to leverage modern technology. That is power. That is perspective. Sometimes it feels exhausting keeping up. New apps, new platforms, new updates, new ways to do things. It's like every day. Slow down. Give us time to catch up on it, but I know you won't. So I'm going to stay abreast of things as best I can. And again, on the bright side, at times it's incredible. I can run my entire business from my phone. I can reach people all over the world with this podcast. I can learn anything, anytime, almost any place. So being old, yet not that old in the technology age means you appreciate the tools because you remember life without them. Back in my day, when I was young, Jay, I could eat anything, fast food, pizza, wings, whatever, late drive-throughs, vending machines, whatever it was, I could have. I still didn't eat sandwiches from the gas station, not doing that. It didn't matter otherwise. If I wanted it, I could have it. My body processed it, burned it off, and kept it moving. I didn't think twice about what I could put into my body because there was zero consequence. But now, oh, we're paying attention now. Now I'm all about clean, healthy food. Give me lean proteins, vegetables, which are also proteins, whole grains, and good fats. I'm even reading the labels. I am deep in the meal prepping. I'm thinking about macros, micronutrients. I'm really getting into it. But let me make you understand, it's not because I'm obsessed. I feel better when I eat better. Inflammation, swelling, low energy, brain fog. My body straight up rejects garbage food. I just can't do it. So, for real, I don't eat it. Not because I am depriving myself, but because I genuinely prefer feeling good over hot, sweet, tasty food and something that's going to wreck my body for the next 12 hours. Again, I'm not here for it. Let's not forget, I'm healthy as heck at 55. And a huge part of what I put into my body fuels me forward, not just for entertainment. Food, yeah, it's corny, but food should be good fuel for your system. Now, I don't want you thinking I don't enjoy food. There are beautiful, delicious, healthy foods being offered us in the world. And again, I'm always learning. I learn how to cook food better for myself and my family. But do I have some junk sometimes? Sure. I'm more so strategic about it. I eat because it helps me perform better. It gives me, gentlemen, it helps me perform better. That's all I'm going to say about that. When you're old, yet not old, your relationships with food changes. You can't abuse your body, then expect it to keep performing at those high levels. Metabolism change, recovery slowed down. That body is less forgiving. Make better choices, not because you have to, but because you want to feel alive for as long as possible. Okay, let's talk about the club. The club, maybe your favorite bar, was definitely it. Friday and Saturday nights, got dressed, looked slick, possibly smelling like CK1, Obsession, Juve. Hey, baby. You met up with your crew, you stayed out until 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. The kicker was you'd be at work on time at 8 a.m. the next day, running on zero sleep, smelling like cologne, sweat, and regret. And the crazy part, we do it all again next weekend. Today, as an adult, we know that was toxic and reckless behavior. Your body definitely will punish you for doing that later. Trust and believe, folks. Trust and believe. At the time, it was fun. It was part of the lifestyle. Feeling alive, feeling young forever. Now, I pass on the club. No interest at all. Like, I like to watch MMA fights, but they always start really late. I mean, for real, can't we beat each other up at 3 o'clock in the afternoon? I don't have time to be out all night. At this point, I sincerely pick my spots. You know what I'd rather do? Listen to Philip Bailey of Earth, Wind, and Fire. Ask me if I remember September while I'm in my car, riding my bike, chilling at the crib, singing every word. No cover charge, no waiting in line, no overpaid bottle service. Ooh, no sticky floors. The idea of being in a crowded club with music so loud I can't hear myself think, surrounded by people half my age, paying 20, 30, $40 for a drink, sounds like a nightmare. That I'm good on. Imagine running into your children at the club. Oh, no, 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 no. Yeah, that's the moment you realize you're old, yet not that old. Your kids are old enough to be at the club. You're young enough that you could be at the club too. But the overlap of these two things? Absolutely not. Not me anyway. And like I said, I'm good. I'm at home or at least somewhere safe. My bedtime is no longer 3 a.m. when I have to be at work early, sometimes as early as 6 a.m. Here's the wisdom, kids. Sleep is sacred. Recovery is non negotiable. Honestly, the club doesn't offer anything I need anymore. I don't need external validation from strangers. I don't need to be seen. I don't need to turn up, even though, Lil John, I'm still turning up, but I don't need to be in a club to do that because I still feel alive regardless. So let me give it to you this way. I feel alive spending time with people I care about, working on meaningful projects, taking care of my body, building something I'm hoping will last. So the club was definitely fun. I'm just saying I outgrew it and I am okay with that. All right, crew, let's talk about the really weird part of being old, yet not that old. The part that nobody has warned you about. At my age and status, 55, business owner, in great shape, established, that's this bizarre phenomenon where I'm suddenly visible to multiple generations of women. Daughters, moms, grandmoms, all shooting their shot at the same time. Okay. Let me explain. In your 20s and your 30s, the dating pool is pretty clearly defined. You're dating people roughly your age, maybe a year younger, maybe a year older. Otherwise, it's straightforward. But when you hit 50 plus, especially if you're doing well physically, financially, emotionally, the rules get super weird. Let me break it down for you. Younger women who see you as established, mature, stable, someone who has his life together, someone who's not there to play games. You represent security and experience. Women your age who see you as a peer, someone who gets the references, shares the history, understands the journey. You're in the same lane at the same time. Older women who see you as youthful, energetic, vital, someone who can keep up, someone who's still engaged in life and enjoyment. And all of them are letting you know in various ways they're interested. Now, I'm not saying it's to brag. Society tells us we're invisible at 50, that we're past our prime, that nobody cares. The reality is, if you've taken care of yourself, built something, and carry yourself with confidence and charisma, you're actually more attractive now than you probably were at 25. You're not desperate. You're not insecure. You're not broke, I hope. You're not immature. You're grown up who has lived life and has something to offer. This can be flattering. It can also be overwhelming. It requires wisdom. Just because you can date across multiple generations and spectrum doesn't mean you should. Just because someone is interested doesn't mean it's appropriate or aligned for what you see yourself or value in life. So let me be clear with you. I'm not trying to relive my 20s by dating someone the age of my daughter. It's not my thing. It does not appeal to me. However, if that's your thing, I ain't tripping, man. I also recognize that being old yet not old puts you in this weird space where you have options that you didn't expect to have. And to navigate that requires a high level of self awareness and integrity. Being old yet not old means you're not invisible, you're not irrelevant. In fact, you might be more relevant than you ever thought you'd be. You just have to navigate it all very wisely. All right, team. So we've covered all the weird, funny, awkward parts of the stage. Let me tell you why being old yet not old actually is incredible. You have wisdom without being obsolete. You've lived long enough to know things. You've made mistakes. You've learned lessons. You gain perspective. You're still young enough to apply all that wisdom in real time. You're not sitting on a sideline just giving advice nobody even asked for. You're doing things with the benefit of experience and time earned. And also, if you're smart, you're not running yourself into the ground anymore. You're not staying out until 5 o'clock in the morning, destroying your body. You still have energy. You are still very vital. You are engaged. You have confidence without arrogance. You know who you are. You're not trying to prove that to anybody. You also haven't given up or checked out. You show up as yourself unapologetically. That's attractive. That's power. And at this age, you have resources without excess. You've built something, you have or you may have financial stability, social capital, knowledge, and skills. You are not drowning in excess or consumption. You know what matters. You know what to invest in. And at this age, you have freedom without chaos. You're not tied to toxic relationships, bad jobs, or obligations that drain you anymore. You've learned to say no. You've learned to protect your peace. And at the same time, you're not isolated or disconnected. You have freedom with intentions. Man, listen, you appreciate life in ways you couldn't believe. You live long enough to know that time is finite, that health isn't guaranteed, that relationships matter more than stuff. Savor moments, be present, don't take anything for granted. So at 55, I feel more alive than I did at 25. Kind of weird, but that's how it's going for me. I'm stronger, I'm wiser, I'm clear, I'm more focused on what's purposeful for me. I have more to offer now, not less. Being old, yet not that old, isn't a limitation, it's actually a superpower. So here's what I want you to take away from this. If you're in this weird space, old enough that everything has changed, but not old enough to be counted out, own it. Don't apologize for liking Yacht Rock. I'm not. Don't feel bad about prioritizing comfort over style. Don't let society tell you you're invisible or irrelevant. You are not. You're living in the most dynamic, interesting, powerful stage of life. You have experience, resources, confidence, and time. You're not 25. And guess what? It's a good thing. Stop trying to act your age. So just act your age. Because what does that even mean? Society defines age as what? Outdated? Irrelevant? Is that you? Because I know it's not me. Be exactly who you are, right here, right now. Old, yet not that old. Wise, yet curious. Established, yet still building. That is your sweet spot. All right, team, here's your challenge this week. Make one choice that honors where you actually are in life, not where society thinks you should be. Maybe that's listening to the type of music that you love, buying the shoes that feel good, not just look good, saying no to obligations that don't serve you. Set some boundaries. Embrace new interests or hobbies without worrying about what might look foolish to others because you're just doing your thing. Now, I just need one thing to let us know that you are old, yet not that old, and owning the space you're in. Being old, yet not that old, it's a gift. It's a stage of life most people don't appreciate until they're in it. You're not invisible. You're not irrelevant. You're not past your prime. You're in this most powerful space. Let's celebrate it. On next episode, we're talking about friendships in midlife, why it's harder, why it matters more, how we build on real connections for better connections. All right, team, we made it. Thanks for being here. Thanks for embracing this weird, wonderful space with me. Thanks for living more life. Stay curious. Man, listen, this is Jamie, and I'm out.